very brief digression.
I resent you try to put John Coltrane and subject his greatness and you went to the Coltrane level to win this argument. It was very low of bringing in something totally out of context.
I mean, you're talking about Mos Def, like he's the out of context MC inside of the hip hop context.
I love Mos Def. I sided with Mos Def.
How many MCs have you seen go on stage and kill it in a Fez hat? Like, it doesn't get more outside the box.
Only the Kid from Baltimore. That's pretty much it.
I was thinking, only the Kid.
That's pretty much. Or only the More, as he's referred to now. Shouts out Only. Yeah, hopefully you'll see this soon. But what is your pick? Are you saying that you think Common with his lyrical technique, which he was like a jazz musician on Resurrection, and the way he would have these run-on sentences, rhyme in the break, pick it back up on the third line.
It was very Rakim-esque in how it married jazz's.
It was unbelievable. He's an unbelievable MC, and so I think people don't give Common the credit he deserves. That the Common disrespect is strong. People have said that he hasn't been an MC since 2003, or
that's why
Common is a poet. He's a poet. He's not really a rapper to me. That's what people say, and I vehemently disagree. Common Sense has one of the greatest, most extensive catalogs. And B was a classic, like Water for Chocolate was a classic, Resurrection was a classic, Finding Forever was a great album, close to a masterpiece in my opinion. So you start talking about likening albums to championship rings. Common has a plethora of things to choose from, along with major singles. So overall,
it's like comparing Rick Fox and Steve Smith. Like, who's the better corner 3-point shooter? Like, one has multiple rings, another, Scottie Pippen and Rasheed Wallace couldn't get him past Jack. But not to digress into the sports fan code.
We always do. Well, hip hop is a sport. Hey man, hip hop is a competitive sport, and so the comparisons work, and we'll use that a lot.
It's a sport of the mind.
The sport of the mind.
So, but again, all those reasons, all those common examples you cite with the various albums and such, is the reason that I presented the first part of my detective story with Common. But let me talk some about Mos.
All right.
You're talking about go back to Black on Both Sides, go back to the Black Star album, and you really listen to those Mos verses. What I realized is that, especially for me at the time, I was in like high school when that stuff came out. His voice, the melodiousness of his voice, often caused me to miss how intelligently laid his lyricism was, how technically brilliant his lyricism was, because the voice was almost hypnotic. If you listen to a great example is the Reflection Eternal song, Respiration. Listen to Respiration, and you listen to Moses' verse, you listen to Common's verse. I don't know. I think Mos might have the best verse between them two.
I thought he did.
Mos, he crushes that. He crushes that song.
They set it up to where they felt like Common was the anchor.
Right, he was the anchor.
And it was a dope verse.
Had a lot of punchlines.
He did. Common was hot at that point.
But if you are just listening to the song without really listening close to what's being said, and Mos is doing the hook, and he's doing, he's real melodious and singing and stuff. All of that takes such a forefront that you might miss how dope his bars are.
I didn't miss it. Even though I like Talib's performance on that song as well. At that point, those guys were pretty they were pretty close to even MCs. The Respiration joint, that was a beautiful time in hip-hop.
At the time, Common was looked at as kind of like the
better guy,
big brother of those, of them, because he had been out for a while, and at the time there was arguments like not just among the underground, but in general, like he's like one of the best.
Was he the best in the world? Yeah.
And so Mos and Talib were they were coming in the door. And so, but if you really listen to Mos' verse, like it's pretty remarkable. And I think that same thing happens a lot when you listen to Mos, is that sometimes you miss just how savage the bars are, because he's doing so much other stuff sonically with his voice that is really dynamic. And if you really want to see Mos, like the human, the live performer, the mind behind the music, there's a really amazing documentary done by Culture TV back in like 2010 that just follows him along his tour in Japan. He's in Japan touring, and they just follow him show to show on the bullet train. At one point, he goes to like a haberdashery, and his DJ gets a purple rhinestone leather jacket with spikes on the back of it, and then Moses is like, "Yo, you look like a gay man." It's just like the day in the life of like, and at one point he just gives this really impassioned speech talking about basically like if someone's spirit is strong enough, no force can hold them back, no corporation can hold them back. It's almost like he's kind of tongue in cheek talking about his own label and some of the struggles he went through with trying to get his albums out because he was trying to push the envelope in certain directions. They were just like, why don't you just do a regular rap album? And that's kind of what led to the New Angels. So we're talking about like creativity and like how outside the box eccentricness as an artist can be a superpower.
So you're saying we have a Common is like a more straightforward MC, traditional, and Most is more outside the box. In comparison,
yeah, straightforward but advanced for the time that he came out.
He definitely was advanced. There's no question about that.
And Most very much like an abstract jazz musician, in that he kind of took a different angle and a unique angle that made him stand out in a way that was different from his peers.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Who would you say is better? Who has the edge? Who's the better lyricist? Who's the more advanced writer? Who's the better songwriter?
So you fell on the Most side, correct?
I fell on the Most side, but only barely. I mean, overall career-wise, I think Common has had a better career from a hip-hop standpoint as far as the output of work. But the Most side, because of just as you say, the abstract jazz musician, some of the technical, lyrical things and what he does sonically with his voice, as you stated also before, I think gives him an edge in terms of just having a different approach to his songwriting. So Pop said he was in love when he made me say love, L-O-V, and I-G, the way he was able to and put his vocals into the music. I kind of side with Most, but Common has been a great songwriter as well. He's had some big records. So by the time he got to B and when he started working with Kanye, depending on the level of production he had, it really took him to another level. And the song, with the one he was singing about Erykah Badu, or he had the remix of Erykah Badu, what was the song called?
The Light.
The Light just took him to a whole nother level commercially. And Common, he's able to appeal to women and hardcore MCs and backpackers as well. But Most, I kind of give a little edge to Most in terms of but they're really, really close. I mean, and putting myself on the spot, maybe I don't know. But
I was going to say that, but I don't think we're allowed to say that. I think we have to have an answer. Put both of our brains to the fire.
I don't know. Part of me wants to go with Common in some regards, but Prime on Prime. But Common's Prime. Oh no, Common's had.
I might surprise you here.
I'm not sure.
And I think a lot of listeners at this particular moment in time might say Most, might say Yasin Bey. But this might surprise you, but my final answer is Common.
I'm not mad at the answer.
Not by a large margin necessarily, but not by a super slim one either. Mm-hmm. I would say personally, my personal taste in music and in hip hop and in lyricism, my personal favorite among these two is Most. But if you ask me the question of who do I think overall cumulative score of all factors is better than the other on a score sheet, I'm going to say Common.
And I can't disagree with that. I said as much myself. I mean, overall career-wise, Common has had the better career. Longevity as far as that. Now, if we go into who's a better actor, that's Most Def easy. It's a landslide. Common needs work.
I mean, Most Dante was acting like on screen in things before he ever had to deal with Ruckus and before Black on Both Sides or Black Star came out. Like he was in the damn Cosby Mysteries. Like way before that. Like and like his acting skills.
It's superb. It's superb. It's far superior to Common's. Common's ability to act is more so because of his legacy and his image, his status as an entertainer in general. The light-skinnedness and the bald-headedness that women seem to like nowadays.
He's the same guy in every role.
Every
he
time.
Looks at the camera.
We're not looking at Chadwick Boseman here.
Things.
Yeah.
The tone doesn't change. It's all very surface level.
I feel like
has chambers.
I feel like it's not totally fair in a way because Common has a distinctive voice that I just don't think he can do anything with. So no matter what he tries to do, it's going to sound the same. He has improved, in my opinion, as an actor. I just saw him on The Shy and some other things. Yeah. He's trying.
I couldn't get past the joint with him and Queen Latifah. Like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie, actually. I enjoyed that movie, but I know what you mean from an acting standpoint. He just...
Kareem Ali.
What?
Are you serious?
No. But I did enjoy it.
Look,
Everybody did enjoy the movie.
It's not fair, like you say, because Mose was in school for acting before he ever was like signed to a record label.
Will be a compelling conversation.
He really came up through the ranks as an actor.
With Mos Def and Tupac, who's a better actor. That would be
that would be a
compelling discussion.